Hello folks, and we're back with another review and thoughts on. Now before I get into this, I want to make a clear statement. In case somebody in the comments wants to be a wise guy and say, oh, you just don't like it because of, or you just didn't get it. I got what it was trying to do, okay? I got what it was trying to do. Doesn't mean I have to like it. But, aside from that, let's get into the review. They, them. First off, I don't like that the title. I don't. I mean, I get what it stands for and what, because it deals with the movie in context. But this whole pronouns thing with people nowadays, like, I'm a guy, but it's a what? Them, him, their, here. I'm not mocking it or anything, but I don't understand it, because, like, just say you're a dude. If you want to be a guy, then you're a guy. If you want to be a girl, you're a girl. If you want to be, you feel like you're a guy, then you're a guy. You feel like you're a girl, then you're a girl. But, like, this whole her, him, or her, him, them, whatever, her, their. See, I'm messing up already. I see, like, some people's Instagrams like that a lot of the times, like, recently, like, where they'll put, like, it's a her, or sometimes we'll just put her. I'm like, I know you're a girl, like, I see your profile picture. But, I understand, like, say it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the pronoun semantics that people are using nowadays. I'm cool with gay people, cool with trans people, but what's with the now you're like, and then there's binary or non-binary, and then binary, and or pansexual or whatever. I'm like, what? With Demi Lovato's business. Anyway, this is a directorial debut by John Logan. I'll say this: the positives I can give the film. I like the song, although I don't care for the cussing in the song. But I like the lyrics. I like the what the song stands for. Be you, be yourself. Don't, let people tell you who to be or whatever. Live in fear or whatever. I like that. I don't like the cussing in the chorus, but, like, whatever. I don't know why they couldn't just do a clean version, but aside from that, I mean, gore. There's not really much gore in this. It's supposed to be a slasher, and barely really any gore. I mean, there's blood in it, but it's like PG-13. Like, there's somebody that gets their throat slit, or towards the end with Kevin Bacon's character, whatever. Which, a lot of people, I'm not a fan of Kevin Bacon. I know he was in the first Friday the 13th film, and that's what a lot of people are comparing this to because of that. Like, really? I would say that's a better film, but, and not just because of what, that, but even that film has, granted, that has better kills, in a way, and more graphic, in my opinion. At least at least two or one of them is, his death included in that film. But the acting in this is fine. I mean, from everyone. I mean, you have this camp that Kevin Bacon owns or inherited it, I guess, and owns it. He's the boss, counselor. You have other counselors. You have a nurse, I believe she's supposed to be, or a doctor, nurse, or something. And then you have an activity director, counselor. And then you have a physical. I don't know what this guy was. The one uh, football player looking, quarterback looking dude. he does like hardcore stuff with them. I love how he acts all tough when they're doing like uh, obstacles and he's yelling at them for how dare you help so and so when they're supposed to get over the wall. And then you like look because our main this movie kind of falls on four main. Well, you have you have Jordan, I believe is her. I forget what. I believe because this character is supposed to be trans, but I'm trying to remember. She, I believe she's supposed. He is supposed. They're supposed to be a guy, I guess. I believe, but it's a girl. But it's like so. Anyway, they have a problem with that because like he brings that up where I don't like because he tells Kevin Bacon about when they're telling like the boys and girls to go to their separate cabins, and he's like, "What? You don't? They didn't tell you that about me or about that I'm trans or whatever?" And he's like, "Well, if you don't like it over there, then we could talk about it." And like at first, like Kevin Bacon's character, you sort of are okay with him because he seems open with what all these teens are going through. I mean, you have the jock who he's trying to reject, him being gay and whatever. But then I love like how in the there's a musical number in this in the one scene in the cabin when he like at first he's like, ugh, who cares? But then when they start singing along, then he just does like a High School Musical. Not they start to do a High School Musical ripoff in this one scene in their cabin. Granted, like it was a nice scene of all of them like being comfortable with each other, but like his character like made me laugh for like he's trying to act all straight and cool, and then he like just randomly, as soon as I think when it gets to like the chorus or bridge or whatever, then he just like does a he slides like in the front, he slides up to the camera, and then starts doing his dance, and then you, I don't know, that was funny to me. You have two black characters. One's trans, who I believe you thought that was a girl, but it turns out it was a guy. But so then he or she, they get kicked into the boys' cabin because you're a boy, so you're going in here. Even though, I mean, could have fooled me, but Um, then you have another black character who's gay, and I forget his name, but I guess he is into the jock character, and I guess they have a romance. It's not really, spoken of really. It's just there's times like towards the third act where like the black dude is like, "That's my man" or whatever, and I guess they're together because yeah. Because then by the end, like when he's in the ambulance, he like says, "Yeah, he's family," and then goes with him, and so really like I don't want to spoil it, but too late. But yeah, Kevin Bacon, his character like early on, little subtle character moments, little scenes of he's sort of he's a nice guy. You think at first, like he comes off genuine, nice, welcoming. We don't care if you're gay, straight, whatever. But uh, you're just here for self discovery or whatever, and like you know, um, I like again like there's only like maybe 4 or 5. There's overall like other campers there, but they don't really get a lot of screen time, which I thought was a bit. That kind of sucked because it seemed like some of them might have could have had moments, but no, it's just the one black trans uh girl, them, that person, and then um also, and then there's the other black character who's just straight up gay. Um, and then there's the blonde who's also a lesbian, but she's trying to pretend to be straight. Then you have an Asian character who I think she's not even supposed to really be that. I think because she makes a revelation of, oh, I'm really just here to write an art of what was it, an article or a thesis on messed up camp, religious camp things to pray to gay away or whatever. So she's really there for that, but then I guess she is actually, or she turns gay in that moment when she's with this blonde girl, and they make out, and then they literally do a soft horror scene. And then we also get not just a female on female scene, but we get a guy and guy, which I fast forward. If anything, I skipped because I wanted to make sure that they weren't gonna actually do that because it's set up where the jock is in the water and then the other guy, long haired character who I didn't understand that I really don't understand that character's thing because he ends up banging the jock guy because really what this comes down to is sort of like a Friday the 13th thing, but then it's also like a Get Out in a way, but it's not as good as it's not even good. It's nowhere near as good as Get Out, in my opinion. Because whereas, granted, I don't hate anybody really. I don't hate any of the camper like main characters in this. You're really not supposed to. If anything, you hate the counselors because. But then you sort of wonder what their whole deal is with, like, are they a cult or something? I guess they're supposed to be like a cult because they all seem like you have the one active. I don't remember what you would call him, like a sports counselor or whatever. He has a girlfriend who's a fiance to him, who's also a counselor. Those two, you find out, I guess they're also kind of gay, but then they're trying to pretend not to be because when they're having their love scene where she's looking at a picture of guys, but then while he's looking at a picture of a girl, of one of the campers, the blondie, that his fiance had a thing for, which was like, wow. But then they're like he's looking at a picture of a dude while he's going to town on his girlfriend, which I thought was. So Kevin Bacon's character, pretty much what he wants to do, he runs his camp, he takes trans and gay or bi or whatever, tries to make them straight, and the only way he tries to do that is shock therapy in a way, because he has like a car jumper cable thing and literally hooks them nipple to nipple with the wire, and then but then he has like this big screen of like different pictures of either women and guys. So like I guess the guy is supposed to look away at the guy pictures, and if you don't, but then you get zapped, but I guess that doesn't even work because the two counselors that work here are still the way they are, even though they act like they're not how they really are, that was kind of creepy, where they'll like say something almost flirting, or well, the one blonde, the fiance of the one hiker looking guy counselor, she was like trying to come on to the one blonde camper girl, which made her uncomfortable, but yeah, like I didn't understand how that was kind of creepy. Where they also went through what these campers are going through, but it didn't work because they're still, at the end of the day, the way they are, but they're pretending not to be. That was kind of. It was kind of creepy where they would play off uh, like when the blondie's coming on to the other blonde camper, she's nonchalant. She's like coyly flirting with her, but then also coming on to her at fault as well. And but then she laughs at her when she runs away and like. But yeah, overall, really, there's only 4 deaths. Well, 5 if you count the woman at the beginning. Which I think that was the character at the spoilers that the newer counselor was talking about when she killed, when she replaced so and so counselor from yeah. But yeah, like so our evil really like the one new counselor that is there. She's actually the killer, which was I didn't really find it as a big twist, but it was fine. Like overall, that reveal was fine. Um, I don't really know what else to say about the film. I mean, it really doesn't have a sequel. It doesn't have a sequel bait ending, at least, because the killer gets arrested. Because then she tries to convert, or one of the leads, Jordan, to like join her on the dark side to different camps that reject this type of lifestyle or whatever, and they're like no, and then walks out and police whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad film. I wouldn't say it's a horrible film or anything. It was fine. It was okay. But for people like comparing this to like Friday the 13th and because it has a camp and there's death at a camp and Kevin Bacon's there. Sorry. Even the look of the killer, like with like a that was pretty. I like the look of the killer, but then of course the killer takes their mask off and explains their motive. Because then it turns out that the newer counselor was also a camper back in the day and was subjected to these experiments that didn't work. And pretty much she grew up with hatred and wanted to take down Kevin Bacon and his crew. There's even a really unsettling scene where our lead Jordan, well, one of the leads, Jordan goes. I think it must be a therapy session where he or they will talk to. See, Jordan goes to talk to the head nurse or doctor, wherever she is, to these people, and she like literally breaks Jordan down mentally, because like she comes off like sweet, but like she's like saying these derogatory slurs to the camper, and then she's like, "Oh, but looks like our time is up," and then like that's where the Get Out part, some elements of Get Out comes in, where like they're pretending to be sweet, but then they're whatever, but at the same time they're being condescending and menacing at the same time, and just flat out wrong. And then right after that scene is where you get the musical number. Overall, if I would I recommend this film is the big question. I wouldn't watch it again really on my free will. Like if somebody requested like for me to do like another review or commentary on it, maybe I would give it a visit again. But I'll just watch a better Camp Blood or another movie with camps that has blood in them. I watch Sleepaway Camp that really doesn't really have blood much in it. But I'll watch that. I'll watch any of the Friday the 13th films. Final Girls, which I believe also took place at a camp. So there's like other way better camp blood camps with. There's other blood camp movies, horror films. So, but yeah, I guess I mean this is a Blumhouse film, which I know a lot of people seem to crap on Blumhouse, which I don't understand why, because they have pretty good movies. This was a decent watch. Um, Again, good direction from the director. Um, you do care for the characters and what they're going through because they explain like their parents don't like their uh, don't like them for who they are really, or so you do sympathize with the character, the campers anyway, and a little bit even somewhat the well at least like the young married fiance and the other guy. So you sort of feel for them because like their whole they're not really like that, but then you know so you sort in a way you don't, but then you do. Kevin Bacon's character you just flat out don't like because he you know even the killer overall. I can't really say I cared for her much. I understood her intentions, but the way she went about it, you know, of course, don't agree with. But yeah, overall, I do recommend the film because if you do like, because it does have decent drama in it as well, where with the subject matter. So yeah, I do recommend the film. I can't really say much bad about it, although there's another line in this where the one black I forget the names, but the one black trans person ends up like she says at one point when they're like everything's going crazy, she has to take the other counselors to go get help. Um, which I thought something was going to come up of that, but no, it doesn't. They actually do get the police involved at the end. But I hated how she was like, because the one counselor like asking her, "Can you get them to safety or whatever on foot or whatever?" And she's like, "Honey or whatever, lady, I'm a black trans woman. Uh, I can run in high heels or whatever to get help or whatever." I'm like, why'd you have to say what you are? Like couldn't you just answer like said, "Yeah, I'll be okay," or "I'll get them to safety"? No, you gotta say what you are, and you know. So I didn't care for that line delivery. Not even delivery. I didn't care for that line of dialogue. Really, like, you should change that. Like we know what you are, so why did you have to make it a big deal? Like, and there's actually a decent scene where she explains like why she's even there to the one new counselor. She explains like why she's actually there, which was a heartfelt scene. But like then you ruin half of her dialogue with that dialogue. It's like towards the end, and yeah. Anyway, I do recommend the film. So I will say it's on Shudder. I don't know if it's on Shudder or not, but it's on Peacock. If anybody even has that, I don't. I was able to watch it online, but yeah. Please give this video a like, thumbs up, comment, sub, and share.